note. I'll start recording there. All right, whenever you're ready.
Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we look at movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Rebecca Reeds.
And I'm your host, Craig Fay.
And this week we are talking about a classic rom-com. There's Something About Mary.
Yeah, a little more calm than rom.
Way more calm. way more calm. Way more calm, way more calm. There's something about Mary, and before we even started, I just looked at Craig and was like, "You're not a big cum guy, are you?"
Oh boy,
it's gonna be a comment. No,
it's gonna be one of those ones. So.
Sorry.
Already off the rails.
Completely off the rails.
We've been stuck in snow for the last 2 days.
Yeah,
we finally made it to the studio, and now it's just
I think I'm squirrely as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was alone all yesterday. Yeah. I can't be alone for that long.
We're just being buried, and it's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Now we're out. We're like squirrels in springtime.
Yeah.
Here's our nuts.
Here's our nuts. We're splashing around in cum. Anyway.
Yeah. So,
Jesus Christ.
So, had you seen this movie when it came out?
No, because I think it is.
It's 98.
Yeah, so I was 8 when it came out.
Okay.
Wholly inappropriate, I would say.
Well, and that was the thing for me. It was I remember when this movie came out, and it was a phenomenon. Because I would have been around 12 then, right? 12, 13.
Okay.
And it was kind of that movie
okay.
that I don't think you were supposed to see at that age, but you were old enough to see it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was kind of this bad thing that you did. And I remember seeing this movie VHS, because you definitely couldn't get into the theaters to see it, at my friend's house. And me and her just rolling on the ground laughing, unbelievable. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe how ridiculous this movie is. And it was so interesting rewatching it, because I remember this being the grossest gross out comedy movie ever. And I was actually surprised rewatching it how little of it was gross out humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there was definitely, it had its moments.
It had its moments, for sure.
It definitely had its moments where I was like, okay, that's obviously gross. The cum, I would say, is probably the height.
But that was in the trailer, too. That's what was wild about it.
That is why, because, anyway, it's very accurate looking. Freaked me out. That was the only part where I was like, okay, this is a bit much for me.
Fair enough.
Which is insane because of the way I speak. Nothing should be too much for me, reasonably. But this, I think I had watched this movie maybe when I was in my teens or something, and I watched it and I kind of went, yeah, okay. And then I just never watched it again because I think it hit that moment for me.
Oh, definitely.
Whereas the movie for me, which is funny because it only came out a year later, but my movie that we watched in the basement was American Pie.
Same. Yeah.
Where we were oh my God, this is so crazy. Stuck his dick in a pie.
And American Pie was way more gross out than this was.
Oh, definitely.
American Pie rewatching it, because we covered that at some point. And rewatching this, I was just American Pie was all gross, all sex jokes, and there in Something About Mary, there's actually legitimate jokes that work outside of anything else, the 7-minute abs thing and
that's fine. I love
there's stuff that actually
the
works
murderer,
on its
hitchhiker.
Own. Yeah. That's not sexual and not that, but anyway, yeah.
Totally. Okay, so if you haven't seen There's Something About Mary, here's the very basic breakdown. Okay, so obviously we have Mary. She is beautiful. She is charisma. She is a good person. She just checks off every single box for a lot of people. And that's why there's just something about her. So in high school, we've got Ben Stiller playing Ted. She asked him to the prom in high school. He gets his dick / nutsack stuck in a zipper. He can't go. She ends up moving away. He is still pining for her after 13 years, hires an insurance investigator to go see if he can find her because she's not listed. He doesn't know where he knows she's in Miami, but he doesn't know where or how to contact her, and he'd love to just get in touch. The insurance, Healy, he goes down, the insurance claims guy. He goes down and starts surveilling her and then immediately falls in love with her and is like, fuck Ted, I'm going to go down there by myself. He spins a web of just like, oh, she has the worst life ever. She's gotten super, unattractive. She's a bunch of kids from a bunch of different men. She's leaving for Japan. He just keeps pouring it on and on and on. Goes down, lies about his identity, tries to get with Mary. All the while, a quote-unquote architect is trying to find him out. Turns out that guy's just a pizza delivery guy. He's also pulling the wool over our eyes. We then have Ted's friend who is going to go Ted gets arrested for murder. Anyway, his friend picks him up. Turns out his friend is actually Mary's ex, who she was desperately trying to get away from because he is deranged and has been after her for a while. She had to change her name. Anyway, Ted is also trying to go for her. Not lying necessarily about his identity, but like how he found her, what's going on. At the end of all of this, everything is revealed. Ted decides that Mary should be with her ex and brings him over to be like, yes, he didn't say any of those negative things about your brother. It was just a lie told by, the pizza boy. And then she goes back with Ted anyway for some reason.
And it's Brett Favre is the football player Brett Favre turned out to be her ex.
Yes.
That was a big reveal in 1990.
Oh, okay. That went shoo.
Football player. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't even watch football now. So I am super removed from that. I was like, that's a big man. I assumed it was the guy. I was like, okay, yeah, he plays football. He is the guy. That's fun. Yeah, that's I like get it, but I don't get it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Anyway, roll credits. Mary goes out and is like, I want to be with you, Ted. Actually, that would make me happiest. And that's the end of the movie. Yeah. Anyway, there's other plot points in here, and we're going to get into all of that. What is your take?
Well, so I watched this, and I was like, first of all, I'm very interested to hear your take as to who the villain is. Because I think the villain of the movie is Healy.
Yes.
Matt Dillon's character, the insurance agent that he hires to go find her.
Absolutely.
I think he is the villain of the movie. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have a hard time arguing for him. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he's the worst.
He's the worst. Yeah.
He's the worst. My take is not necessarily. Here's how I want to spin this. The villain isn't right. The hero is as bad as the villain.
Fair enough. Okay.
I think that, or at least close. They're in the same scope of things. I think she ends up with the wrong guy. I think she should have ended up with the football player. I think it's a weird ending, in my opinion. I think she should have ended up with the good guy that didn't lie to her and was really good friends with her brother. And the only thing she didn't like about him was a lie.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think all of these men are equally the worst.
Fair enough.
Terrible.
So watching this movie, and believe me, this is a surprising for me, having done this podcast as long as we have, where I was coming into this being like, I remember Ben Stiller's character being the absolute worst. Mm-hmm. And watching this, I was like, oh, he's actually the best of all of them, in that he learns the lesson that he's supposed to.
Oh, he does learn. I guess he learns a lesson, but there is no consequence to that lesson.
Yeah.
Like there's no...
Yeah. But he was willing to accept the consequences.
I
of that
suppose
lesson. The
so.
lesson being, like he says at the end, I realized after talking to all these guys and like all their shenanigans were exposed, I was no better than any of them.
Yeah.
And he goes and finds.
Correct.
He goes and like I was just pining after you. It's an ideal.
Yeah.
None of these guys like you. They're just like obsessed with you.
Yep.
And he is the one that goes and finds Brett Favre and goes, listen, she broke up with you because someone told a lie and whatever. So like I was actually surprised at how much I was like, well, you're the best guy by the end of this movie because of those guys. That being said, I don't think she should end up with any of them.
Well, no, because it feels to me like one of those situations where you go in and you're like, I get it. I'm an asshole like everybody else. And it's like, well, listen to him. He's calling himself an asshole. Believe.
Yes.
Believe he's an asshole. Believe this. It is so unbelievably strange to me that a man would pine after a woman for 13 years. That woman's a wholly different person.
Yes.
She's a truly different person. You actually don't know that much about her. You've had one good date with her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not even a good date. He has one terrible date.
You have one date with the hottest woman ever. Come on.
I mean, but there is something about her.
Well, yeah, but
where
I think
she's driving these men to insanity.
Okay, and here's where I want to, and I don't think this character realizes this, and I think that's what's maddening, is that most of the time when you go on dates, you have to ask yourself, do I like this person or do I like myself? Is this a good conversation because I'm amazing at conversation? Is this a great date because I'm really good and understanding and I'm a really sick person to be with?
Right.
So I just make everybody cool around me for a hot minute, okay?
Sure.
Don't run out after that man, that sobbing man in the streets. Absolutely not. I don't know who you are either, really.
No, we haven't seen each other in 13 years. We barely knew each other in high school.
Yeah.
she basically asks him out in high school because he kind of did what I would call the bare minimum of standing up for her brother, who was being bullied.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, well, do you want to go to prom with me?
That's it.
I was like, and you know what? The worst reasons to ask a guy to prom, for sure. But also, like, that's it. That's your whole basis. Like that and a conversation on the walk home kind of about football, which like she's very much like she's a very superficial guy's girl type woman.
Oh, yeah, she's really written like that. Like, oh, I love sports. I like chugging beer. I'm like, nothing. No offense. Okay. Nothing about that woman's physique says I drink beer. Not a fucking stitch on that woman says I love throwing back a couple of brewskis, and not the light ones either. The real ones.
Yeah, no, and
It's
eat
gotta
hot
be
dogs.
the real beers.
Yeah, 90s Cameron Diaz doesn't have. I'm not even sure she could be an orthopedic surgeon. You know how strong you have to be to like. They're fucking breaking bones with their hands and kind of, you know.
Oh,
I know
my
it's
God.
all leverage. She can do it. It's fine.
But it's not a problem. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's not a problem either. Like, I know those women do exist. Like, I know a lot of things that I like would be considered quite manly. Now, the package it's not really giving the same vibe as a braless Cameron Diaz. I'll say that. Okay, I don't think we have all the same dressings.
Just does not believe in bras and does not believe in blinds either.
That's so fun. I kept thinking, I was like, girl, if you literally, and this, I know this might sound a little victim blamey, but like if you have literal stalkers everywhere you go, curtains, please, I beg.
And also, I'm not sure I've ever gotten undressed facing a window.
It depends.
I guess it depends on how your room is set up.
Yeah, Like, how high is this hotel? Like, how far up am I? You know what I mean? There's something about like, okay, if I'm overlooking like a fucking ocean and I'm on floor 14, yeah, I don't give a shit.
All right. Fair
Okay,
enough.
yeah. You see these titties. That's okay. Like, congratulations to you.
I guess I've just never been like, oh, I need to look out the window. I guess what I'm saying is when I'm getting undressed, it's full concentration on what I'm doing.
Why, are you afraid of zippers?
Well, afraid of zippers. I mean, down's
I wonder where that came from.
Down's not usually a problem, but up you want to be sure. But also just like, I'm that age where I'm like, you're taking your pants off. You got to make sure that you're balanced.
Oh.
One leg at a time. Otherwise,
That's
you're
so because you got such little legs.
little legs. It's so top heavy.
Dude, you ever do that?
Fall over? Yes.
No, you know what I'm asking you.
No, I don't.
You ever zip your junk?
Oh, no. Honestly, I don't know how. Well, certainly how they present it in the movie. I don't know how that's possible. Like, I don't know how you go past it. Like,
Yeah.
I can understand nipping it, but.
Oh, okay. Do you think you've never caught it because of this cautionary tale? Do you think this affected you psychologically? Because I gotta tell you,
Here's the thing. I think it would be hard if you were wearing underwear.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're not a commando guy.
No.
No. Sorry. I don't know. This is way too personal.
No.
I don't know why I'm digging it. I'm sorry. I just felt like watching this. This felt like a men's like Final Destination
Yes.
moment.
Oh, yeah,
Where I'm
yeah.
like, oh yeah, we don't drive behind those trucks no more. Like we don't. You know what I mean? You watch this and you're like, okay, that's in my psyche. That's in there forever. This is locked
Oh
in.
yeah.
As a memory.
I will give you that. I will
As
give you
a
that.
lesson.
The cut to where you actually see it.
I can't believe they showed it.
Right?
I can't believe they showed. I did not think they were going to show it because they kept dancing around it, and I was like, okay, we all know, we all get it, and then they were like, no, this is rated R, bitch.
Yeah, we're seeing something.
Yeah.
But again, I found that so funny. Like, not necessarily that he got his dick zipped into his zipper. And that they showed it. That's kind of like a shock.
Yeah.
Like, moment. But I did, like, comedically, I find it very, very funny when the police officer comes to the window and then the fireman comes.
That's great.
And it's just like everyone's
Yeah, let's keep
heaped on
adding
this.
hats on hats. I like it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's actually like a well thought out comedic beat there, right?
Totally. You know who is like a little side villain that I was just like, yeah, give him the business is the stepdad.
Oh, yeah.
The stepdad. Okay. Because he comes up, first of all, I actually really.
Keith David, right?
Keith, oh,
Yeah,
God.
I think that's Keith David.
Yes, it is. It is Keith David. Anyway, fucking, because when he comes to the door, they give us that classic beat of, no, she already left with her old boyfriend. And I'm watching, because I don't remember any of this movie, really. And I'm watching that, and I'm going, I'm rolling my eyes. And then he goes, nah, I'm just fucking with you. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great beat. I like it. I'm like, yep, that's every movie I've ever watched. And now we've flipped it, and I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that, I will stand by this. I think I mentioned this in our Spider-Man No Way Home episode. or on Spider-Man Homecoming episode.
Yeah.
And a bunch of others. That is your job as a dad.
Oh, you got to give them a bit of the business.
Bit of it. And I don't mean like my daughter's not back by 11, I'm going to shoot
gonna
you.
fucking kill you. Yeah,
no, I mean
no.
like, you should, hey kid.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel weird and awkward about this and meeting me? Well, let me tell you, I'm not going to make it easier because I find that hilarious.
Oh, yes. First of all, my dad would always do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, here's the thing, is that, in my opinion, that's also a tool to see if you can hang. We need to know if you can hang out with this family or not.
Are you cool? Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you can't take a bit of ribbing, you are not going to be able to hang out with, first of all, me, nor not any of my fucking family.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just nonstop with these people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, I'm sorry, but if you're a high school kid and you're not a little worried about meeting your girlfriend's dad,
Yeah.
why are you so cool?
Right. Oh,
Right?
ugh.
Why?
Ugh.
Why are you so confident?
Exactly. Yeah,
No,
I gotta
no.
see you squirm a little bit.
Yeah. Let me know you're human under there. Let me know that. Let me know that you'd be good for my daughter because you're trying to impress. You don't want to fuck it up at this point. You know.
Exactly. And he also, and I think this is, and they kind of view it as a negative point, I think, but I view it as a positive. He went into the bathroom to help him out.
Yeah. He's like, you're a kid.
You're a kid. Something's gone down here. I'm going to go in there and help you out.
Yes.
And then he also calls in his wife as backup, which, yeah.
Yeah, but I also love that she's a dental hygienist. I was like, oh, that's not going to help anything at all. But like, we've all done that too, where you're like, I don't know, who's closest to a medical professional here?
Yeah, also, who's a second person we can get in the room before I start getting up in a kid's dick's business?
Yeah,
Okay, like, we're going to need, you know what I need? Witnesses.
This is a second adult in the room sort of visit. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. Two adults in the room. Two adults in the room.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually loved him. He was great.
I thought he was great, and I think the movie kind of painted him as a hard ass, and I was like, no, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I like every single thing you're saying.
You know what he struck me as? He struck me as the kind of dad who would raise a daughter that
had that kind of confidence.
That kind of confidence and that kindness and that
charisma.
Level of success.
Yes.
Oh, you're an orthopedic surgeon? Great. The hottest woman ever? Great. Rich. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I know a woman that looks like Cameron Diaz. Like, she just does.
Sure.
She kind of just looks like an adjacent Cameron Diaz. We cannot go
Cameron Diaz? Sorry. That's so bad. That's so bad.
I like it. I like it, dude. I hate that I like it, but I do. I hate myself for liking it, but I do like it.
It jumped out of my mouth before I could stop
perfect.
it.
Don't fight your instincts. Don't fight your instincts, Craig. I love them. We cannot go anywhere without somebody falling in love with this woman. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just because she has the same charisma as her. I don't know if there's something about those genetics, and just like, if you look like Cameron Diaz, you're gonna act like Cameron Diaz. But god damn.
But people. I mean, this has been studied, and it's like attractive people do better in society. Like humans trust them more implicitly, or like follow them easier.
But I've also met a lot of attractive people that use that to not have a personality. That this woman has personality for days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
she's just oozing personality. You know what I mean?
That's a deadly combo.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's a 1-2 punch you cannot fight. Which is also, I mean, there is definitely something about marriage. There's something to say where I'm like, maybe you need to move to a different country or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Things are going bad. Things are going real bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to victim blame here, but you do kind of want to, I think, take a step back if you're married, go to some therapy, and figure out why no fewer than 4 men are, I mean, stalking you.
Well, I don't know, man. If you added up all mine over my lifetime, I've definitely got, I put up some big numbers.
All right, fair enough. But like, don't you think, but that happening, haven't you asked yourself some questions about like again, I don't mean to victim blame or like I should change my behavior, but like, I think maybe she's being a little too nice to people.
Okay, well, I always struggle with this because I'm like, here's the thing, is I don't want to change my behavior based off of other people being shitty.
Sure.
Okay. I've had men tell me, like, people I'm dating tell me that I'm too nice to other people. And I'm like, that sounds like a you problem. That sounds like an insecurity with you. That sounds like a problem with men. Okay, because a lot of the times, if a man gets treated nicely, they will assume you are hitting on them because, and I'm not going to say all men, but I'm going to say there's a lot of men that will only treat you nicely if they find you attractive. So they think that translates the other way. They think that oh, you're being nice to me, so you must be hitting on me because those are the only people I'm nice to. And it's like, well, no, it's just like she's nice. Okay, you can't take every single thing. I'm just saying, I don't think these American men can stay in the fucking heat. Okay, they can't handle it. Okay, maybe we got to go somewhere else. Okay, where also, okay, here's my thing. If I have this level of heat on me, I don't know if I'm picking Ted as my backup.
No.
Because if we extend this movie out, okay, he still has to deal with these people.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, you know who I want? I want the football player.
Legitimately.
That's who I want as my backup.
Okay, I get that for sure. I do want to go to her ex, Brett Favre, for a minute, because you said she should be with him. Mm-hmm. And I just want to explore hypothetical situation. You've broken up with somebody. It was going well.
Yep.
You broke up with them over something that turns out not to be true.
Yes.
But it's been months.
Mm-hmm.
You've processed the breakup. You're over it. You've moved on, gone on other dates, that sort of thing. Then you learn it's not true, which is what's happened.
Yep.
Are you jumping back into that relationship?
Yeah. Because I don't think I'm over it if I'm bringing him up on other dates.
Interesting.
Because she does talk about him. It's not like she's never not talked about him. Like he's still coming up in conversation.
Yeah, I guess. But that was more... I guess that was in the context of, have you dated anybody? Who have you seen? Why are you still single? And she's like, well, I dated this guy, Brett, for like years. And then 6 months ago, it didn't work out. So it's like, she's sort of just saying it as like, I haven't been single this whole time. I'm kind of more recently single. I don't know. I just find that like maybe it's a little water under the bridge sort of thing. I guess it depends how hung up you were on that person.
Well, different answer, and we love this one on this podcast. Hashtag none of these men.
None of these men.
None of these men. None of these men. Okay, I am team absolutely not Ted. Okay, not Ted. Okay, you're a doctor. Okay, and this guy is an aspiring writer? I think not. Okay, I'm going to carry you with, I could get anybody. I walk around hot as fuck. Okay, charisma for days. Everyone's trying to get with me. Yeah. I don't land on that, man. I'll tell you that for sure. This guy that hired someone to find me, that's wild. First of all, just... if you really want to go for it, if you're like, listen, I'm just gonna, and don't get me wrong, like, back in the day, maybe in my teens, perhaps I've arrived at a place, quote unquote, accidentally, okay, to see someone, okay? Certainly.
Oh, you're here?
Oh, yeah. You work at this Arby's, okay? Like, sure, okay? Absolutely. That is something I have done, okay? That is not something I do, I could ever even fucking consider in my 30s.
No.
This man is in his 30s.
Yeah.
Okay? He's in his 30s. He's still, okay, if somebody... because this is another thing for me where I'm like, I know it's supposed to be seen as super sweet, but a 30-year-old man carrying around a girl's high school photo in his wallet when he hasn't seen her in 13 years is fucked up.
Yeah.
It is crazy. That is
crazy.
That is not correct. That is not your relative, okay? That is not somebody you even went on a date with. That is somebody you had a short, singular afternoon with. You showed up at her house, got your nutsack caught in a zipper, left, and then never saw her again. Yeah. And you kept her high school photo in your wallet.
Yeah.
No. Fuck no.
No, you're right. The only thing I can say in his defense is he does have a very shitty therapist.
That is fair. That is fair.
Like, one, is that event something that absolutely is going to affect you and that you'll talk about in therapy?
Yeah.
100%.
Couple of sessions for sure. Couple sessions.
And then we find that his therapist has basically been sneaking out mid-session to have lunch and is like coming back in. So it's like, one, fuck that guy. Oh yeah. So he's seeking the help, but he's not getting it. Some of that lands on him where he's just like, this isn't a good fit for me. You never seem to remember what I'm talking about. But that's the only thing I will say. The other defense of that is what I will say is this is 1998. This is before Facebook. This is before social media. If you wanted to find somebody from high school, it's very difficult to do it.
Yeah, but I think that was a better time. I think that was a better time in society where it's like, hey, high school, it's back there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye forever.
You can be different people.
Yeah. Yeah, okay? Because and they do make the point in this movie of like, okay, well, if she's really the one, like if you guys were such close friends, how do you not have any information on her?
Yes.
And the whole thing was, oh, you know, she changed her last name to get away from this guy, but anybody that she wanted to keep in contact with certainly has her number and her new information.
Yes. Yes, and we actually see that in the movie. Like Ted's chiropractor is his friend from high school, the guy with the mole. And he goes, "Oh yeah, no, I ran into Mary like last year at this conference."
Yeah.
And they've never talked? Like they're still friends? And he hasn't been like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you know that girl who was so important to you in high school? I saw her. Is Mary. And she's a orthopedic surgeon in Miami."
Yeah.
Like that's never came up. Like
No.
it went to a private investigator going down to find her. Now, some of that was his friend Dom / Moogie. Moogie, was it?
Oh, I thought it was Woogie.
Woogie. Yeah. Like basically manipulating him to hire the guy to find her because he's the stalker boyfriend.
Yeah, but he agrees, man. Like, they hold hands on it, okay?
Yeah.
They do hold hands. They both agree this is what should be going down here. And I think that makes him equally as involved as this Woogie character.
Yeah.
Okay? If she wanted to see you, she would. If she wanted to contact you, she would. You're gone from her. She barely recognizes you.
Yeah.
When she sees you, and she's like, "Oh my God, so crazy."
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a bunch of like hypotheticals here because I want to know where this line stands.
Yeah. Okay.
So someone you've lost touch with, right? Like an ex or something like that from high school. Like
Okay.
no bad feelings or anything, but you want to get in touch with them, right? Looking them up on social media, yay or nay?
Okay, here's the thing.
We stopped at step one. Okay.
No, it's just, okay. I just don't think. Okay, say I don't know. Let's say I have a dream. I have a sexed up dream about somebody from my past,
Gotcha.
and I'm like, oh, maybe there's something there. First of all, I'm certainly not contacting them. First of all, no. Okay, we gotta do a little bit of background investigation here. Okay, I'm gonna look. Okay, we gotta look for signs, clues, information. Okay, if they are not on social media, that's done. That's dead in the water.
Done.
That stops there. If they are on social media, are you dating somebody? Do you have a wife? What's going on here? I'm gonna do and say that's all clear. That's all good. Okay. I don't know, man.
Well, okay, let's say it wasn't even romantic. Let's just say, like, you remember, like, you're going through the old yearbook and you're like, oh, man, I remember her. We were such good friends back in high school. Whatever happened? I'm wondering, I wonder where she ended up.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
No, past is behind me. It's back there. It's back there. Okay. It's all the way back there.
I didn't even get to my hypothetical.
No, sorry.
What
was your hypothetical?
Oh, well, I was like, I assumed you'd be like, yeah, look them up on social media. I was going to ask, like, paying a private eye to get a number for you. So they're not following that person. They're not like, taking pictures of them. They're not doing everything that Healy does that's bad. But if you're just like, listen, this is before social media. I'm going to pay. I don't know how to find this person.
Okay.
I'm going to pay you to get me a phone number.
The only way I would do that is if I thought it was in the utmost, like, best interest of the person I'm trying to contact. So
Right.
it's like if I was like clearing through all of my old stuff and I found something of theirs
Sure.
that I thought would be really, good for them to have. I just don't think I have any inclination ever in my life to pull from back there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, no. Because number one, I'm a completely different person. Number two, you're probably a completely different person.
Yeah.
The only way that I would pull somebody from my past is if I genuinely see them organically. Not manufactured, not like I looked them up and I found that they worked here and I'm going to pop by and see what's up. None of that. Okay, it's like literally I'm out grocery shopping in my hometown and you're still around or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then we just both visiting our parents on Thanksgiving or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. And then we can assess. Maybe there's some sparks or whatever. But to me, it almost feels like the exact same way of like pulling somebody from Tinder. I know almost as much about you in the same sense. Okay, of what the information you're giving me. I think it's fucking weird as hell.
Fair enough.
Weird as hell. I think hiring private investigators. I'm not 100% against a private investigator. You know me. I fucking love Veronica Mars so fucking much. Oh my God. Okay. I don't mind like a PI sort of situation. In this context, I think it's like, oh, I want to find my birth parents, or I want to find, you know.
Yeah. My dad had another family in the 60s.
Yes. Yes, something like that where it actually has like deep impact on your life, then maybe.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Something like that. So somebody's trying to get some child support or something. Sure. Yes. All of these things make sense to me. I'm going to try and look up a woman I haven't seen in 13 years because nobody's done it for me the way she has in that short afternoon. Incorrect.
Yeah.
Because the speech he also gives at the end is where it should have ended. Because I agreed with everything in his speech.
Oh, when he's saying like
I'm just like you, okay? I'm just as bad as you guys. I'm also projecting what who I think you are upon you.
Yeah.
It's this thing where you like see somebody on the subway and you're like, wow, I bet they're like this. And I bet they're like that.
And I bet they're everything I've ever wanted and nothing I never did. Yeah. They're perfect. They would
fucking
fit.
Unhinged.
No, you're right. Yeah. And it's more, so they're all treating Mary more like an object of affection.
Yes. Than a fucking human being.
Than a human being. And I think that's unfortunate because we don't really get to know Mary all that well. We know that she's like generally kind.
Yep.
We know that she's successful and all the rest, but like really her personality doesn't get to show through that much.
Yeah, other than the fact that she is just absolutely oozing charisma.
Yeah.
I can't. She is so, man, I'm so glad Cameron Diaz is like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm making a comeback. Okay.
Fair enough.
I am a Cameron Diaz stan. I do think there's something about her. I think she's
perfectly well cast.
I think she's the perfect fucking casting for this movie. Cause I'm like, every interview I see her in, every photo I see her in, every single thing I see her in, I'm like, God damn it. How do you do it? Okay, it's just too much. Because honestly, I honestly think her being braless is secondary to her charisma. I'm like, I actually do believe that we are seeing past.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. I agree. It doesn't hurt. Okay, but I do think it somehow is more, which is phenomenal. Okay, you wouldn't think it would go in that order, but it does.
Yeah.
Okay, she's just a tremendous. She's got a great character to her. I think they were just kind of like, hey, be you, play yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. There is the other guy that's lying to her the whole time, Tucker. Lee Evans.
Oh, God. I was so hoping he wasn't going to have a heel turn.
Really?
Well, because I was like, oh, he'd be perfect to defend. Because I'm like, oh, man, you're literally faking a disability.
Yeah, and a British accent, even though the actor is British.
Which we could...
Anyway, and that, and again, like one of those comedic moments in the movie where you're like, oh, this isn't as risque as I thought. Like there's some like good comedic beats there where you go, like he's confronted and he's like, you were faking being an architect. He's like, of course I was faking it. Who's been to Santiago, Chile twice in a year? And I was just like, yeah, that all.
And it's so funny to me when you watch this movie because I'm like, oh, instead of any of you, well, I guess maybe Ted. And I think that is, that's why he is slightly better than the other guys. But the idea that this guy has been around for a long time, let's say, okay, this pizza guy, he's been around for a long time, okay, and he's created this lie and this backstory,
Sure.
and the PI has created this lie and this backstory where I'm like, neither of you, all of them, none of you guys thought, maybe I should just be better.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just pursue higher things, be the kind of person that Mary would be attracted to. If I want this caliber of woman, maybe I need to be that caliber of man.
Yeah, you're right. None of them
Are like, hey, maybe I should pursue higher like that guy's been a pizza guy in continuation. Okay, he would rather lie, buy props, do things than go, oh, maybe I should go back to college.
become
or maybe
an architect. Become the man.
become the things or whatever. You know what I mean? Present yourself as start volunteering. Actually try and be a good person and be like, okay, if this is the kind of person I want to attract, who do I have to be to attract that? That's what I should pursue.
But none of them actually care about Mary because like none of them can even think past the, well, like I can sort of understand that I am so crazy attracted to this person that I want to be whatever type of person that they would find attractive. I can understand that. But to lie about it and be a totally different person.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, that person inspires me to I should be in better shape because I want to go hiking with that person. Or I want to, you know, like
Yes.
I want to they're really into movies, so maybe I should start watching like, you know, some movies. But to change your whole identity, like to fake it, it's like obviously you're gonna get found out by that, right? Like there's a depth and breadth that goes with being in a relationship with somebody, right? Where you're like, yeah, you can maybe fake one date,
Yeah.
but how are you gonna keep that up at all long term? And I mean like a month of dates.
Or fake, and I'm not opposed to maybe, you know, sometimes a very small lie is kind of cute later. Like, it always makes me think of, like, How I Met Your Mother. The first, like, when they're talking about the olive theory or whatever.
Okay.
And then Marshall's like, I just told Lily that I didn't like olives because she really wanted my olives. So I've been pretending to not like olives for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's like a low level, zero stakes, nothing.
I don't like olives, so I get to give my wife
my olives
every time.
Yes, that's adorable.
Yeah, me and Kat do that, but with fish skin. Anyway.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't like this, like salmon skin and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like it, so like she eats it. It's way less sexy than an olive. I will give you that.
Yes,
But
like
that's how real relationships
it's our
work.
fish skin theory.
Oh,
It's our
dear.
fish skin.
Fish skin.
Okay. But yeah, so like some low level stuff, sure. Like somebody's like, oh, this is my favorite band of all time. And you're like, oh, I like that band too. I got
Let's go-
tickets.
yeah,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm like, if I find out later that you had a small, I call it just a small white lie on something, absolutely, I can
Listen,
get past that so fast.
I actually don't like that band. I was hoping I would when I got us tickets. And turns out we had a great time, but I do not like their music.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I tried.
I wanted to spend time with you.
But like, I went out with somebody that gave me their wrong name.
yeah, well, that's
Done. Okay, that's a high level, high tier thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't get past this, and Ted hiring somebody to find her, then showing up and bumbling around and keeping. I think if she knew about the photo in the wallet, I don't think
she would be.
I think she'd be like, you know what? Actually, that football player's looking pretty nice.
pretty good. Or I can't. Sixth option, I think. 'Cause I think there's like 5 different guys going after her in this.
Yes.
Yeah. So just another option. And here's where I will argue for Tucker. Right.
Okay.
He says one thing in this movie that I think rings absolutely true. And he says to her, this is still when
Tucker
he's
the pizza boy, right?
Tucker the pizza boy / architect or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still an architect at this point, but he goes, "You're beautiful, you have money, and you trust people. And he says that as like, you need to be careful. You're beautiful, you have money, and you trust people. That's very easy for people to take advantage of. So you like to think of the best of people, but you need to realize that like you're kind of marked as like easy to dupe, right? Or you're a high profile mark. Let's put it that way, for con men, liars, everything like that. And I think that's something that she should take heed with. It's like certainly the trusting people aspect. Because there is like I know I said before, like she's too kind to people. I think maybe to refine it, I mean trust. She's too quick to trust people.
Yay. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's
we found it. Yes. 100% I agree with that. I want to say another negative thing about Ted.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
No, go for it.
I want to say another negative thing about Ted because there's one moment and it gave me the ick where she's talking about Healy and she's like, oh, like, ugh, like that guy, I found out all these bad things about him and he was lying to me and all this kind of stuff. And then he kind of goes like, he goes, oh, well, you didn't sleep with him, right? And it just seemed icky because I was like, oh, and if she did it, is like she ruined or what? What is that question and why are you asking it? Because it feels to me like you're like, oh, well, you didn't get dicked down by another dick, right? Because I can't mentally handle that. And I'm like, you are so precious about that. That's so fucking weird. And I don't like it.
Yeah. The other thing, and this is a little bit of a gay panic thing that they do.
Oh,
she
God.
Says, like,
there's a few of those moments. Yes.
But this one in particular where she goes like, I don't know, like they're talking about why she's single or something. And she goes like, I don't know. I'm bisexual. And I guess that like is difficult for a lot of guys. And he's like, well, yeah. And he like stumbles through it. And I'm just like, just be fine with that.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm fucking with you. I was like, you didn't have to be though. Like,
yeah, that kind of gave me, I didn't care for that out of Mary's mouth, quite frankly. I was like, as a bisexual, I was like, I don't understand why that would be just fucking with you moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a weird thing to do.
That's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing to say.
And in fact, in this movie, I would argue, try women for a while.
Oh, girl, yes. Absolutely. That is the solution.
That
here,
is
actually.
the solution. Yes.
God, yeah. I wish you weren't lying about that, actually. That'd probably solve a lot of problems.
100%. All these men just being like fucking crap. I'm sure there's a beautiful lesbian orthopedic surgeon who is like, great.
Yep.
I'm going to take you out. I'm going to give you like a whole like lobster dinner. We're going to have a good time and I'm going to tell you real things about myself.
Okay. Can you tell me, because obviously I didn't grow up in the scope of, men things. I don't know how to describe men things.
You should see Rebecca's hands
just like
as she's doing
I'm like,
it.
men things. I'm just waving my arms around.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I gotta talk about the cum scene, obviously.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Is that ever a thing that you were told or taught to, bang one out of the barrel?
Clean the pipes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something like ever taught, although it is weird to say because like I probably saw this movie when I was 13, so who knows, like chicken or an egg.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, you're like, did this movie tell me this?
But there is a sense of clarity.
I'm gonna throw up. There is a real sense of clarity.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get real serious.
No. I like it. I'm
gonna get real serious here for a minute, which is
laughing.
like I think honestly one thing that we do not tell young boys is how powerful how powerful a sexual urge can be, or how powerful the little voice in your head saying like fuck that thing or do that like can be. Honestly, no.
That thing.
No. Honestly.
I'm sorry.
No, because you're okay.
No, I love it.
The
I
need for
agree.
sexual
Yes.
reproduction is like the strongest, most destructive force in
Gotcha.
probably all of nature, right?
Oh,
Fucking cranes are flying over Mount Everest to get to breeding grounds. Like bull moose are fucking killing each other, butting heads for mates. Like it. Like
No, I get it. When I'm ovulating, I'm feral.
Right.
I understand. Okay,
Exactly.
I get it.
And I don't think we do a good enough job of telling young boys and men how absolutely convincing that voice in your head can be, where it is going to convince you that any bad idea is a great idea. Any bad idea is a great idea. And I'm serious.
No, I get it.
And it's like, it's you go, I know how to act in society, and I have been taught this, and I know what is moral, and I know what is right. And then this voice just will come in and be like, yeah, but just do it anyway. And you have to know that voice is lying to you, right? You have to know that is just like, well, do the thing to get what we want at all costs. And I don't think we are honest enough. It is like a nuclear bomb in like a prepubescent head, and we are not honest enough about how powerful that is, or telling boys to like be aware of that, because it will turn the dumbest idea into the best idea, and at the least harmful level, that's like you're getting your dick stuck in the orange juice container, right? And then like
Juice. Or so acidic. Okay.
Right. It is logically a very bad idea. You could ask any kid, or like, why did you
my God.
Why did you do that? Why did you think that's a good idea?
Woo.
And you know what they'll say? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my
But there
God.
was like an override switch that was done, like, do that. And then obviously lots of harm for other people and other things, like on the extreme end.
Yeah.
So like,
So you were not on team No Nut November. No. We should.
no.
So
why?
post-nut clarity is very real.
It is a thing. And this is also scientific. They have proven this. When you orgasm, men and women,
Aye.
it shuts down the self-criticism part of your brain. It shuts down the part where you're like, oh, well, maybe nobody likes me, or maybe it's like, that's why you feel so good afterwards, because you're not like in your own head anymore. You're not doubting yourself. It shuts down the part of the brain that is like self-critical.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. Great answer. Answer. Learned a lot. Love it. So some of these things I thought I knew, and now I do know.
Yeah,
okay,
there we go.
There we go. That's it. That's it. Good Lord.
Not sure I've ever lost it though.
What do you mean?
Oh, like he's like, where to go? I don't know.
That's insane.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, like you don't feel. Trust me. You know when you have jizz on your ear. Trust me. You don't have to know why you need to trust me, but trust me.
Yeah, his was acting like it's flubber, where it's just like it. How
It was flubber. It bounced
bouncing
off
around
a
the
wall.
room?
And,
Yeah, that's-
just right onto his ear. Hilarious.
That's the mix-up that we've never seen. And okay, you come to the door for a date.
Yep.
You see that hanging off of a gun. You're not just gonna be like, great, I need hair gel.
No, I gotta tell you, I have a firm, like, if liquids are on another person, that's your own problem. Like, that's a personal problem. That's a personal choice. And I'm gonna leave you to deal with that. That's a personal problem. I am not involved in that. I gotta tell you. Oh, God.
If liquids are on another person.
Yeah, that's
your problem. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do you have anything else you want to slide in here?
No, I mean, the dog's a little bit of a villain, I guess, in this.
I don't think he is. Why?
Oh, just like the way he attacks Ted.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, he should be attacking all, as far as we are team villain, that's the villain I would fight for. Absolutely. Okay, that dog does know something. I believe that woman, okay? If you think, I can't remember what relation she is to Mary.
Old woman in the apartment next door who hangs out.
Who hangs out? Okay, great. Number one, first of all, I love her, and I'm like, I aspire. That's aspirational. Okay, I aspire to be this woman. Okay,
Yep.
I'll tell you, that's when I'm leaving the curtains open. Absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
see how it goes. Okay, what up? But I think, okay, and I fully ship it. I do believe that animals know sometimes. Certain animals do know. And I believe that that animal's correct. He can suss it out.
All of those men were.
None of those men. If not Brett, then nobody. That's my conclusion.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. I agree. The dog
does know. Okay, the dog knows, and got done dirty several times.
He got set on fire.
Healy
set him on fire. He got drugged,
electrocuted. He died.
Jumped out a window.
Yeah.
He got hopped up on speed. And I gotta say though, like knowing that is a fake dog, like Ben Stiller just whipping it around and like hitting it on things. Great little comedic moment. Like the fact that it's so stiff and so clearly.
Physical acting is a skill.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Like they would try and do that with CGI these days and it would be worse.
Oh yeah.
Hold the dummy and whip it around.
If it's a comedy, I don't know why. Like I love that scene in Anchorman where the Jack Black kicks the dog off, and it's just clearly a stuffed animal.
Yes.
Give me that every single time. I don't want there to be a doubt in my mind that you used a real animal for this.
No.
Chef's kiss. Okay, it should be a stuffed animal every time. I love it. I think it's great.
I agree.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Kick more fake dogs off of bridges.
Kick more fake dogs off of bridges.
Out windows.
Yes.
Let's see more of it. But yeah, that does it for me. What do you think? Time to rank our villains?
Yes, it is. I think we have similar scales.
I think we do too, but I think we went a little different on them.
Well, we went with the most iconic scenes. So I went for things things that I wouldn't want to put in my hair. So from oatmeal up to the spit of an incel, I'm going to go with... Sorry. I'm going to give the villains gum. They're all horrible and really, really hard to get rid of, it seems.
Yeah, I love that.
What do you got?
So I also have a hair gel scale.
Great.
Okay, so from dippity-doo to a nice like sandalwood.
What's a dippity-doo?
Oh, like just like the baseline like gel, like it all, but it like.
Is it called dippity-doo?
Dippity-doo, yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's like the cheapest hair gel you can get.
Great.
Like, you know, in the 90s where everyone had their like
so crusty.
Spike? Yeah,
so
that's
crusty.
That's dippity-doo.
Okay.
Like, you know,
okay,
the sort of stuff that like it cracks and like flakes.
God, yeah.
It's real bad. It's real bad. Anyway, from dippity-doo to like a nice sandalwood pomade, you know, like love the smell of sandalwood. Anyway, I'm going to give Healy, the detective or whatever, cement. So bad. What the fuck? Why would you think that would work out?
No.
How are you going to get out of this?
No.
What is your long-term plan?
No.
What are you doing? Cement in your hair? I don't even know how you get that out. I think you just lose the hair.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Anyway,
Or
real
your
bad.
skull.
Yeah,
Basically.
real
Oh my
bad,
God.
real bad. Guys, and that's we will get to our heroes and villains of the week in a second. But first, a couple ways you can support the podcast. So first of all, if you want to support us financially, we are on Patreon. Patreon.com/thevillainwasright, where every month you get 2 bonus episodes from us for supporting us at the $7 tier. You get a Craig pick and a Rebecca pick this month. Rebecca has picked the wonderfully horrible romance-inspired Gigli, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck.
I don't know how it's worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us discuss that one, head on over there. We also have tiers for early release of ad-free episodes, voting on our audience choice, everything like that. So head on over to patreon.com/thevillainwasright. And if you want to get in touch with us.
As always, you can follow us at Villain Was Right on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you would like to get in touch with us directly, you can email us at villainwasright@gmail.com. This was an audience suggestion. This was somebody messaged us. Actually, a few people messaged us and was like, you guys should cover this movie. So if you want us to cover a movie, email us, let us know. And now it is time for our heroes and villains of the week. What do you got for us, Craig?
Yeah, so I've got a little hero this week. Very, very nice. But we've had a few snowstorms here in Toronto over the last week.
It is insane.
It is insane.
Banana pants.
So after the snowstorm on Thursday, so not the big one, just the large one. I was outside out front, and I was like shoveling out the sidewalk in front of my place. And my neighbor was out there with his two kids, and his one kid is like, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, just like little kid, just babbling away, just like, I'm gonna help, but blah, 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 and here's my orange and yellow shovel, and I help, and I'm like, he's like got his little shovel, he's trying to help.
Oh, so cute.
And I'm just like literally just shoveling around him because he's not helping out, Yeah, but I was just like, that's fine, that's wonderful. And then I'm just out there talking to my neighbor, and his other son is out there, and much younger, and like to the point where how like kids kids of a certain size in a snowsuit just like are starfish, like they just like their arms are so small, so they're just saying
like A Christmas Story. I can't even put my arms down.
Yeah, exactly. So this little kid is sitting there just like in the snow, complete like starfish, just standing up, and I'm talking to his dad, and I just see this kid, and right in front of him is this like dead plant with this like perfect like like a bulb, like a dried out bulb on the end of this long stem, right? And I just watch this kid, like you can see the thoughts going through his head where he goes like, oh. And then he just opens his mouth and leans in to bite this bulb. Like you could see him be like, this is at the perfect height for me to put my mouth in. And just with his arms out, and just like starfish just leans in, like opens his mouth, do this, and his dad just goes like, "Stop! What are you doing?" And like pulls him away. But I laughed so, like the look in this kid's eyes, where he was like, "Yes, best idea ever."
Yeah. If it's not supposed to go in my mouth, why is it that size?
And right at mouth height,
yes. Right? That's so funny.
Laughed so hard at that. That's my little hero.
You
gotta appreciate moments like that in life where you're like, I recognized every thought that went through your head, little kid.
I saw it happen. I saw the wheels turning.
In real time.
I love that.
I was like, that kid's going to try and eat that flower. Then there he goes. He does it.
I have a villain this week. So I was out. It was the day before Valentine's Day. So everybody's out on their like, I don't want to go out on Valentine's Day. So this is the day I go out, right?
Sure.
And I'm at this cute little like jazz bar situation, and the person I'm meeting is late. So I'm just sitting there and I'm chilling, and I can really hear the conversation beside me, and they are on a date. And I can immediately suss out. I'm like, this is a nightmare. This man is a nightmare, but dating in Toronto is such a nightmare that you're just this woman's just sitting here kind of going, yeah, all right. Like, I mean, I'm trying to get late tonight. Like, just like breezing by all of the worst parts of this guy. He's talking about cocaine a lot. Like, there's just a lot going down. But they reached one point of the conversation that just made me, I was bursting because I was like, this is so funny to me. The guy, and just in my opinion, if I was on a date with this man, I'm like, oh, you just told me you're the worst, right? So he looks at her and goes, do you still have Snapchat? Craig, Snapchat, okay. He goes, do you still have Snapchat? And she says, no. And he goes, I have one of the biggest Snapchat streaks ever of all time. And her response, and I did love her response to that. She goes, that's alarming, which is correct. And then he goes, no, for real, check it out. It's almost 10 years long. And then he says to her, and she looks at it and she goes, yeah, I guess it is. And he goes, I don't know if this is going to work out if you don't have Snapchat. I swear to God, when he went to the bathroom, it took because I have this problem.
Girl, run.
I have this problem where I really, really, really want to insert myself on other people's business if I think I know better, and it took all of my strength. I didn't say anything to her, but it took all. I was like, listen, if you can't see this, he's showing you, okay? It's not like he's saying shit when you're in the bathroom. It's like, he's literally saying it to your face. If you decide you like this, that is up to you. Do not get involved. But I swear, it felt like my muscles hurt afterwards because I was trying to sit there so fucking hard. Anyway, I lost it. I was like, oh my God, dating is such a fucking nightmare. A 10-year Snapchat streak.
Sorry, does that mean that he's posted every day for 10 years?
I think so.
Okay, that's because what that streak would be?
I assume, I gotta tell you, I have literally never had Snapchat, even
same.
when it was popular. So I can't really confirm or deny that, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with you having to post every day.
I'm going to get you some business cards printed out that just say, girl, run.
Buddy,
and you could just have them on you and hand them out. Don't need
like,
to talk
listen,
just little boxes on the top, like, I heard your conversation, blah, 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 blah. I know this guy, whatever it is. We'll fill it out and then be like, I heard your conversation, girl, run.
Girl, run!
You can do better, girl, run. Yeah.
Anyway, that really stressed me out in a sense, but it was also hilarious. I just like her saying, that's alarming. I was like, yes, that is alarming. Anyway, he's my villain of the week because my God. Anyway, as always, team, you can follow me at Rebecca Reads on any platform of your choosing.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Craig Faye Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, craigfaye.com for show dates. And speaking of shows, oh my God, as of tomorrow when this episode comes out, Rebecca and I will be on the east coast of Canada in Nova Scotia. Last time I said this, apparently I said New Brunswick, which is not right at all. That is a different province.
We've had a full conversation about mixing those two up.
Yes, I don't. My dad messages, he's like, you mean Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yes.
We will. I have no idea. Yes. Anyway, Cape Breton. Anyway, that's where we're going to be. 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, we are in Nova Scotia. CraigFaye.com for show dates. Rebecca's there. I'm there. We're splitting the run. It'll be a good time.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you there. Yeah. And that's it. So that does it for us this week on the podcast. Stay tuned. Next week, we're wrapping up our kind of romantic movie. With a romantic movie. We're doing Titanic next week, everybody.
Yes, near, far, wherever you are.
Wherever you are. That's where we're doing Titanic. Iceberg dead ahead. That's what we're doing. And until then, this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you, sometimes it's like flubber.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't have anything prepared.
I love it.
And then I was like,
like
it's the only thing I can think of.
No, that's good. Most of the time I don't write them. I just wait for a memorable moment in what we're saying.
Ugh. Fuck. Oh, what is that? Years so much. All right.
You get my New Brunswickness in your head?
I think so. I have no idea why that had happened last time, and nobody corrected us. Except for my dad.
Pretty common maritime thing, though. We all just kind of
But I know it.
out.
Like,
You know where you booked the